请全体起立。
Please all rise.
鸣礼炮。
Fire the salute guns.
Now a group of soldiers is walking from the monument to the people's heroes to the flagpole. The monument is dedicated to the men and women who toiled, sweated, bled, and often made the ultimate sacrifice for the founding of this country. Audience members are standing for a special salute. 56 cannons, representing China's 56 ethnic groups, are being fired 70 times to mark the 70th anniversary of the People's Republic of China.
The Euro salute for national celebration is 28 guns, and that number represents the difficult and glorious course from the founding of the party in 1921 to the founding of New China in 1949. And on the 35th, 40th, and 45th national days, 28 guns were fired. And 50 guns were fired on the 50th anniversary. And 60 guns were fired on the 60s. For the military parade on September the 3rd, 2015, 70 guns were fired. That is the most of any previous celebrations and commemorations. It marked the 70th anniversary of China's victory in the War of Resistance against Japanese aggression during the Second World War.
Now raise the national flag and sing the national anthem.
坐下。
Please be seated. Now the military review starts.
标兵就位。
On your positions.
First up, the pace setters. Now you can see 60 soldiers marching towards their designated spots. They help mark areas where the parade will take place.
Chairman of the Central Military Commission, which commands the military. The Commander-in-Chief is now in his special red flag limousine.
Mr. President,
受阅部队
the military is assembled in order
请您
and
记
ready
阅
for your review.
阅兵总指挥中部战区
Chief
司令
Commander
员
of the military
李
review,
晓光
Yi Xiaoguang,
开始。
proceed.
Going to be a new special ceremony. Xi Jinping will pay his respects to the party flag, the national flag, and the military flag.
同志们好！同志们好！同志们辛苦了！同志们好！同志们辛苦了！同志们好！同志们好！同志们辛苦了！同志们好！同志们辛苦了！同志们好！同志们辛苦了！同志们好！同志们辛苦了！同志们好！ 同志们辛苦了。
Chairman of the Central Military Commission, Xi Jinping is now returning to Tiananmen. And we will hear slogans being chanted on strengthening the military. Now, as we can see, some of China's most advanced weapons will be on display, are being displayed.
As we mentioned earlier, the President is also the Chairman of Central Military Commission.
Commander-in-Chief Xi Jinping has inspected the troops.
And this is Xi's first National Day military parade as China's president. There have been other occasions. One was the September the 3rd China Victory Day parade in 2015. It marked the 70th anniversary of the victory of the Chinese People's War of Resistance against Japanese aggression and the end of the Second World War. Another first was foreign troops. Back then, most of them were China's allies during the war. At that parade, Xi Jinping announced a troop cut of 300,000, saying China would continue to take the path of peaceful development.
And another parade was 2 years ago on July 30th at the Zhurihhe training base in North China's Inner Mongolia Autonomous Region. That one marked the 90th anniversary of the People's Liberation Army. Zhurihhe is China's most advanced training base. The parade came after Xi Jinping called for breakthroughs in reform of the armed forces. It showed the profound reforms the PLA had been undergoing, such as its newly created forces, the Rocket Force and Strategic Support Force.
Now the troops are ready to start. 47 formations on the ground and 12 echelons in the air. They will start passing Tiananmen Square in a while. Formations on the ground were selected from Joint Operation Commanding Organizations and different troops, universities, and scientific academics.
Four generals, 2 lieutenant generals, over 100 major generals, and nearly 15,000 officers and soldiers are taking part in the parade. Now we see the PLA Guard of Honor, the People's Liberation Army under the leadership of the Communist Party of China, safeguards national interests for the country and well-being for the people. The PLA has 5 professional service branches: Ground Force, Navy, Air Force, Rocket Force, and Strategic Support Force.
Next up, the Leader Commander Division. It is led by Major Generals Jiang Guoping and Chen Zhofeng. There were also 27 generals and 325 majors and lieutenants from the Central Military Commission organ system, 5 theater commands, and armed police. Their mission is to showcase the new vitality of the military commands after structural reforms and clear direction for the policy of training commanders before training soldiers.
Up next is the PLA Ground Force, led by Major Generals Lin Xiangyang and Tang Xinhua. The ground force traces its origins to 1927. It's the largest and oldest branch of the armed forces, serving as the military wing of the PLA. It's been charged with the strategic requirement of mobile operations and multidimensional offense and defense. That means raising its capabilities for precise, multidimensional, and sustainable operations.
See the PLA Navy leading the team, Rear Admiral Zhou Mingwei and Liang Xu. Its original mission was to protect territorial waters and support island combat. Over the years, the Navy has expanded its mission to include comprehensive combat at sea, strategic deterrence and counterattack, safeguarding the sovereign rights and interests at sea, and protecting strategic passageways.
Coming up is the Air Force, led by Major Generals Jing Tao and Zhao Yongyuan. It comprises aviation, ground-air defense, radar, airborne, and electronic countermeasures arms units. This year, the Air Force turns 70. Its mission is to become a modern and strategic force that integrates aviation and space power with enhanced strike and defense capabilities.
This is the PLA Rocket Force. Leading the team are Major Generals Xue Jinfeng and Zhang Fengzhong. The purpose of the Rocket Force is to strengthen strategic deterrence capabilities, primarily nuclear deterrence through precision strikes with dual-use nuclear and conventional missiles. The Strategic Missile Brigade is one of the Army's pillar combat forces.
Coming up is the Strategic Support Force, led by Major Generals Wang Xuewu and Kang Baihai. Strategic Support is making its first appearance in the National Day Parade. It's a new type of combat force established to maintain national security.
The Joint Logistics Support Force. This is also their National Day Parade debut. They're led by Major Generals Liu Xiangdong and Ren Yanbing. Logistic support is crucial as modern warfare requires tremendous supplies of energy and resources.
Next up, the PLA Armed Force, led by Major Generals Zhao Dongfang and Zhang Weiguo. The armed police work in safeguarding national security and public well-being as a support to the party and the people. They perform multiple functions in maintaining social stability.
And here are the female soldiers led by Major Generals Chen Xiaojian and Tang Bing. There were 352 soldiers from different service organizations, armed police, and troops. Chinese women can be seen on the front line of fighting disasters, hard points, in every aspect of the armed forces.
Now comes the Researchers Division, led by Major Generals Yi Shuqiang and Wen Fuxin. They come from military institutes, the National University of Defense Technology, PLA Academy of Military Science, and PLA National Defense University. The division cultivates military talents in its mission to advance the strategy of strengthening the Army through science and technology.
Next up, the Civilians Personnel Division, led by Wang Haitao and Wang Huayan. Military reform has called for the recruitment of outstanding talents across different fields. They apply their specialized knowledge and experience.
Up next is the Military Reserve Division, led by Senior Colonel Gao Xinjiang and Reservist Senior Colonel Xu Zhengang. The reserve is a key component of China's national defense. The reserve conducts regular training to drive its reform, promoting integrated development of reserve and active forces.
This is the Militia Division, led by Zhao Bingqing and Liao Weiwei. The militia comprises female soldiers from different fields in Beijing. They are a very vital complementary force to the Army, receiving regular training to maintain their combat capabilities.
Coming up is the formation representing China's UN peacekeepers. They are led by Major Generals Xu Youze and Ma Baochuan. China contributes the most troops among the 5 permanent members of the UN Security Council. There are over 2,500 Chinese serving in 7 mission fields, with 8,000 on reserve duty. 13 Chinese peacekeepers have died in foreign lands. The sounds of heavy vehicles tell us the arms and equipment formations are coming. 40% of the armaments will be shown to the public for the first time. We will see 32 formations.
This is the Flag Guard formation. They're representative from Liang and Lead forces. Leading the formation are General Liu Yuejun. Lieutenant General Wang Jianwu, General Zhao Zongqi, Lieutenant General Li Qiaoming, and General Zhu Shengling. They are the main commanders from the Army's 5 theater commands. And the flag shows the heroism of the soldiers during different periods of their fight for the national interests. Under these flags, the party and people fought together to gain independence and a new republic.
Now here come the ground formations. Leading the tank formation is Major General Li Ming. There are 22 99A tanks, the main battlefield tanks independently developed by China. They have advanced firepower ability and defense capability.
Is the light armed vehicles led by Major Generals Huang Zhewang and Wang Yunsheng. The 04A tracked IFVs and 15 light tanks are highly mechanized. Their ability to respond rapidly to potential threats has them on the front line of emergency land battles.
Following is the amphibious fighting vehicle formation, led by Rear Admiral Zhu Chuansheng and Xia Chenglu. The 05A amphibious fighting armored vehicle is used for land operations, offshore sailing, and beach attacks.
This is the airborne fighting vehicle formation led by Major Generals Qiu Huolin and Chen Tao. The vehicle can be airdropped to the front lines. It is used in a joint combat system.
Up next, the self-propelled gun formation, led by Major Generals Zhang Jianfeng and He Jikang. The artillery can provide long-range suppressing fire, precision strike, and information-based combat. Also in the formation are the Type 155 vehicle-carried gun howitzers, a new suppressing fire system that gives stronger fire and higher precision and mobility.
Here comes the anti-tank missile formation, led by Major General Zhou Meiyu and Li Zhenling. The HJ-10 missile system allows precision attack on ground targets not visible to the naked eye. It is also used against low-altitude or low-speed flying targets. To date, the PLA has developed an anti-tank equipment system that features diversified launching types, ranges, and guidance systems.
Here comes the special equipment formation, led by Major Generals Tian Yue and Wang Qinming. The combat vehicles can be used on all terrains, and the auto-gyro aircraft are used in complex battle environments. The equipment system can achieve fast delivery of weapons and forces, crucial in surprise attacks.
The Armed Police Anti-Terrorism Formation led by Major General Liu Xinli and Wang Zaifa. The assault vehicles and explosion-proof armored vehicles are highly mobile and versatile.
Coming up is the Naval Battle Group. Major Generals Wang Qianfeng and Wu Yuhong are leading the shore-to-ship missile formation. The YJ-12B missiles can hit large and medium-sized ships. They are used for coastal defense.
Behind them is the formation of ship-to-ship and submarine-to-ship missiles. Rear Admiral Liu Jie. The YJ-18 and YJ-18A missiles are developed for power and accuracy, and they're a new generation of anti-ship cruise missiles.
Next up, the ship-based air defense weapons, led by Rear Admirals Liu Hongwei and Zhang Baojun. We can see HHQ-9B, HQ-16, and HQ-10 missiles, and Phalanx close-in weapon system. They form a complete defense system that can intercept enemy missiles and support naval and land battle groups.
Next up is the Air Defense and Anti-Missile Combat Group. Major Generals Li Guoping and Zhang Lei are leading the formation of the Early Warning Radar. The new generation of radar can detect and locate jets and missiles.
first formation of surface-to-air missiles led by Major Generals Liu Mingbao and Han Xianfeng. We are seeing the HQ-9Bs and HQ-22s. They are capable of intercepting multiple airstrike weapons and complex electromagnetic environment.
Major Generals Zhu Rui and Dong Yujiang are leading the second formation of surface-to-air missiles, HQ-12A missiles and HQ-6 launchers on display. Combined, they can defend against incoming targets from various ranges and altitudes.
Next is the Field Operation Air Defense Missile Formation, led by Major Generals Zhang Fan and He Xiaozhang. We can see HQ-17As and HQ-16Bs. They can be rapidly mobilized to intercept targets.
The information battle group consists of 4 formations. The first is led by Major General Xu Guiming and Meng Fanhao. The equipment is designed to capture information quickly. It is able to perform tasks independently and support other troops.
Major Generals Li Faiyi and Yang Xiaokang are leading the second formation. We are seeing jamming vehicles. The new electronic equipment can be easily deployed and mobilized in complex electromagnetic environments to allow troops to gain an upper hand.
The next formation is led by Major General Sun Baocai and Jin Xianfang. These are telecommunications vehicles. Those are the ears and eyes of troops.
The fourth formation is led by Major Generals Deng Hongjin and Jin Feng. The reconnaissance and navigation vehicles can quickly obtain, process, and transmit information about combat environments. This is crucial for commanders' decision-making.
The military equipment is going intelligent. And what better teams to represent that than the drone team? The first formation, led by Major Generals Jiang Peng and Du Qingyou, has a variety of high-altitude drones designed for reconnaissance duties.
support by Major Generals Wang Yanqi and Qiao Yajun. These drones can carry out targeted attacks. They can also jam enemy air defense warning systems. Next up is the Logistic Support Formation. This formation is led by Major Generals Bai Zhongbin and Xu Baolong. The water tankers and mobile platforms are used in field operations. There are also oil tankers and food processing vehicles. They keep troops fed and supplies on the battlefield.
Equipment support formation is led by Major Generals Shen Zhujun and Major General Kang Xi. They provide mobile hospitals for service personnel and mobile workshops for equipment.
Now come the Strategic Attack Forces. First up, the DF-17 Conventional Missile Formation, led by Major Generals Zhang Jianqiang and Wang Xingbo. The DF-17s are used for precision strikes against medium and close-range targets. This is the weapon's first public appearance.
Here comes the CJ-100 Cruise Missile Formation, led by Major Generals Wang Juxian and Li Jiaqing. The CJ-100 is the latest in CJ series, and this is the first appearance in the National Day Military Parade. The hypersonic weapon features high precision and long-range strike capability, as well as fast response.
More missiles. This time, the DF-26, compatible with both nuclear and conventional warheads. Leading the formation are Major Generals Zhang Jichun and Liu Hongjiang. The DF-26's advantages are strong mobility and flexibility in launch location. Precision strikes on ground and underground targets, as well as those at sea, make it a strong deterrent.
Now comes the JL-2 long-range ballistic missile formation, led by Rear Admirals Wu Dongzhu and Liu Wentao. The second-generation JL-2 can be launched from nuclear submarines, providing sea-based nuclear deterrence.
Now come the modified DF-31A nuclear missiles. The formation is led by Major Generals Yuan Dehua and He Jun. The DF-31A is China's second-generation solid-fuel intercontinental strategic nuclear missile. It features high mobility and adaptability and allows rapid deployment and precision strikes.
And this is DF-5B nuclear missile formation, led by Major Generals Wang Xiaochu and Deng Rongzhen. The system can carry multiple warheads and excels at both assault and defense.
And here's the last equipment formation. It features DF-41 nuclear missiles. It's led by Major Generals Zhao Qiuling and Sun Le. The DF-41 is an intercontinental strategic nuclear missile. Its purpose is for both balancing power and securing victory. It has a pivotal role in China's strategic nuclear strength. China's missiles include ballistic missiles and cruise missiles, as well as conventional warheads and nuclear warheads. They are deployed in the mountains and the ocean in defense of national security and world peace.
Here come the air echelons. Leading way is the lead aircraft echelon. The system includes warning, reconnaissance, long-range strike, strategic delivery, reinforcement, and support. Taking the commanding position is KJ-2000 warning plane with Air Force Commander General Ding Laihan in charge. It's flanked by 8 J-10 fighter jets. The area rainbow represents the 7 decades that the People's Republic has gone through.
Here come the echelons of early warning and control planes. The 3 echelons display KJ-500 and KJ-200 warning planes, as well as Y-8 principal aircraft, each guarded by 4 fighter jets. These planes show how China has developed its air warning, detection, and trailing operations.
The Marine Patrol aircraft include a wedge formation of KJ-500H warning planes, making their first appearance. Y-8 anti-submarine patrol planes, KJ-200H and Y-8s form a second wedge formation, a demonstration of compatibility with other combat platforms in defending air and maritime security.
Here come Y-20s and Y-9s. The Y-20 is nicknamed the Kunpeng or Rock, ROC, a giant bird in Chinese mythology. This is due to its long-range capability, tremendous carrying capacity, and fast speed. The plane can operate under complex weather conditions.
Sustainment support planes echelon. The two wedge formations include Y-9s in communication and psychological warfare, as well as medical aid. There are also Y-As used for long-distance support, digital engagement, and digital reconnaissance. They boost the Air Force's joint operation capacity.
This is the bomber echelon. The three wedge formations include 3 H-6Ns and 6 H-6Ks. The H-6N is making its debut. China designed it as a long-distance strategic bomber. It can conduct aerial refueling. The H-6K can travel thousands of kilometers and strike targets with precision-guided bombs.
Here comes the refueler and receiver echelon. It consists of HY-6 refueling planes and J-10B fighter jets. The flying oil tanker enables fighter jets to operate for longer distances.
Next are the J-15 fighter jets, which can operate on the deck of aircraft carriers. They made their debut in the 2015 military parade.
Here comes more fighter jets. Flying past are 5 J-20s, 5 J-16s, and 5 J-10Cs. China's first fighter jet completed its maiden flight in 1956. And the J-20 is China's fourth generation of supersonic stealth fighters.
This is the Army Aviation Echelon. 5 Z-9 armed helicopters form the reconnaissance and warning fleet. 9 Z-10s from the Fire Assault Fleet. There are also 3 Z-19 armed helicopters, 6 Z-20 tactical utility helicopters, 9 Z-8B transport helicopters, 8 Z-19s are taking guard positions, and this marks the debut of the Z-20.
The last, but not the least, the trainer aircraft echelon includes 5 JL-10s and 17 planes of 2 other types. The JL-10 can conduct air combat missions.